Do fibroids cause infertility, and should they be a valid reason for women to hurry up to have children? This conversation was out there on social media recently, and now I want to address it to my audience. First of all, fibroids are non-cancerous growths, meaning they are not necessarily cancerous, and that's what fibroids are, and they grow within the uterus of a woman who is in her reproductive age group. Why? Because they basically feed off of estrogen, so they are very hormonal based, and as a woman gets into her menopause, usually we do not touch those fibroids and we just leave them be, because as the estrogen goes down, they're also going to go down. Now, fibroids cause infertility based on two main factors. One, the number, three factors: the number, the size, and the location. So fibroids grow, and they are of four main types. So one, there is the type called the subserosal, or on the outermost layer of the uterus. Number two, there's another type called the intramural, or in the middle layer of the uterus. Number three, there's a type called the submucosal, or in the innermost layer of the uterus, the one which kind of shades the one where the baby sits, etc. And then number four, there are types which are called pedunculated, meaning they are more like they have a stalk and they hang. So the two main types that are very notorious for causing infertility are: one, there is the submucosal, because it's on the innermost layer where the baby would implant. When it's time for you to conceive, they will distort and cause difficulty in the baby implanting, and that's what they call the submucosal, the one which is on the innermost layer. The other one which is notorious for causing infertility is called the intramural, or the one which is in the muscular layer or in the middle layer of the uterus, because the muscle contracts a lot. So whenever a baby, let me say a woman gets pregnant, or she implants, then the muscle begins to contract too much and then terminates the pregnancy. So she would normally have repetitive miscarriages. So from my own experience, I have not seen a number of women that have struggled with infertility that is entirely based on the fibroid. I have seen, however, about 3 women whose uteruses have had to be removed because the fibroids grew so big in that the woman would look like as if she's 7 months pregnant all the time, plus. And then number 2, the woman would become severely anemic. Number 3, the pain would become simply unbearable. So the mass effect, the pressure effect of the fibroids can also be something that would cause a lot of havoc to the woman. However, those are really the few cases I've seen. But the ones which I've seen, which are many, are women who carry the pregnancy alongside the fibroid, and many other women who don't even know that they even had these fibroids in the first place. I've also seen a number of women who, for example, you find they end up having preterm labor, or she gets into labor much earlier than anticipated because the fibroid is competing for space and nutrients together with the fetus. So, those facts laid out, I am going to now share my opinion on should you have children quickly, simply based on fibroids. And my answer, as a Black woman in her reproductive age group that is obviously at risk of fibroids, is no. Let me jog a memory into the story of Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler is one of the world's biggest dictators and terrorizers in the world that destroyed millions of lives. And you know what the main reason for Hitler being like that? Hitler came from a very dysfunctional family where his father was severely abusive and violent, and his mother died when he was a teenager. So he was a very bitter human being, a wounded adult that ended up wounding millions of people, and it's on record to this date. Now, of course, this is not to say that everybody's dysfunctional childhood or family manifests in a ways this severe, but we have seen the ripple effects in the world that we live in right now. We have so many adults that end up becoming violent human beings, that end up becoming very traumatized. These things where you find someone just, let me say, you see a picture of people that are happy in a relationship, people that are getting married, people that are in love, and the first thing you say, whoa, it will end in tears. Those are signs of the dysfunctional childhood that became dysfunctional adulthood. And because we keep on seeing things that traumatize us, our brains cannot record and fathom the possibility of someone being in a family situation that is healthy, that is happy, and that could even possibly last, because in your brain, you have seen too much pain that you simply cannot accept and understand that people can actually live in a functional household. So you end up becoming dysfunctional yourself. So for me, I believe more in the whole concept of readiness for things like parenthood, marriage, family, etc. I believe that it is more about readiness. And of course, someone may argue and say you can never be fully ready. But of course, also when you see people that go into things that they simply do not recommend because of pressures that are invalid, then we end up creating the cycles keep going of us creating children that have to heal from dysfunctional parents, dysfunctional families, and they simply become dysfunctional adults. So I believe that sometimes, honestly, no matter your financial status, your entire well-being, whoever it is where you come from, as long as you feel that you are ready to wholesomely give yourself to a child and be a responsible adult, nurture them, care for them, love them, by all means, have children. Like, have children and have as many as it is that you can handle. But if you do not feel ready mentally, financially, socially, even relationally, like that you want to first be with someone that is proper, just give these things to your God and then take on the path. Wait, just relax, wait, your time will come. Also, in the same spirit, allow me address this, that there are some women and even men who simply do not want to have children. And let us understand that this is also okay. Not everybody is supposed to. Guys, there are a number of children that have been abandoned, left for dead, tortured. There are some parents who are too ashamed to leave, so they stay. But the quality of life that they give these children, I work with children every day, so trust me, I do understand. Sometimes I feel like there are some people who are simply not meant to be parents, like simply not meant to be. And if this is you, just don't do it. Don't succumb to the pressure. Don't bring someone in this world to suffer. If you are not ready, if this is not who you are, just don't do it. I think the only problem is if at now you get a partner who wants to have them and then you deny them this blessing, then that is an entirely different thing. But if you simply say that this is not my path, just don't take it, and it's okay. And also allow me to say that in this day and age, there are so many other options that are medically available. If the fibroids are too big and causing you harm, there are procedures like myomectomy to remove them. Now, your gynecologist is going to guide your process entirely based on what are your desires and what is your situation. This is case by case. There are some people who you find the fibroids are causing excessive pain, very much anemia, excessive pressure, all these things. And so you find that the woman has to have them removed. So this is entirely based on that. But there are some women who you find do it for fertility reasons. For example, if you've been trying to have a baby, you're having continuous miscarriages, if you're seated under a gynecologist, they are definitely going to guide your process and tell you what is best for you. So just sit with someone who knows what it is they're doing. I'm going to tell you a number of herbs. Drink this, drink that, drink this. I've personally never seen them work. What I have seen for a fact is women who come back alongside their fibroids. Now they have liver damage, kidney damage, both or all the above. So that is entirely up to you. But for a fact, fibroids alone should not be a reason for you to rush into motherhood. Motherhood isn't just about bringing children into the world. Motherhood is bringing a soul into this chaotic world that we live. And I feel like we should just have the responsibility, the reason, and the consciousness to do this the right way so that we can be able to heal our children, so that we do not... One of my deepest prayers is that we do not bring children into the world that have to heal from the traumas of a dysfunctional childhood that we gave them as parents. There is already more than enough of all that going on. More than enough. So I really think that's what I would say, based on me, also considering I'm someone who would definitely be at risk of having these things, based on my color, my age group, my situation, my status, whatever it is. But yeah, make your choices better. Make your choices better. And understand that pressure is always there. People will have reasons for pressure, to pressure you for everything all the time. Bagambe bakakane. The uterus is yours. Talk to your God, discuss with your partner if you have one. If you don't have one yet and it's a priority for you, just relax, pray, talk to your God. It is well. It is well. That is it for today. Class dismissed.